Hello, everyone. In our fifth lecture on verbal aptitude for competitive examinations, we would be discussing the pronouns. The pronouns are used in place of nouns, right? They replace the nouns. And just like nouns, they do have number, that is, they could be singular or plural. For example, I is a singular pronoun, he is a singular pronoun, whereas they um, has a plural connotation. Then they have gender, that is, they could be masculine, feminine, neuter, or common. And then they do have cases. Not all pronouns have cases, but some pronouns do have cases, which could be nominative, accusative, possessive, vocative, or dative. We would not be discussing cases in this lecture. However, we would be discussing number and gender distinctions of pronouns. We have 9 kinds of pronouns, each of which would be discussed further. Uh, those are personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, interrogative pronouns, distributive pronouns, and relative pronouns. Right. Now, coming to personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are used for persons and things like I, we, you, he, she, it, they. We define these pronouns as personal because they stand for the 3 persons in English grammar. The first person, that is the person or persons speaking. The second person, that is the person or the persons being spoken to. And the third person, that is another person or persons, thing or things spoken of. Right? As far as the cases are concerned, there are 3 important cases of nouns and pronouns, and they show relation of nouns and pronouns to each other, or to other words in a sentence, right? A pronoun which is used as a subject is in the nominative case. If it is used as an object, it is in the accusative case or the dative case. But we would not be going into the details of cases in this lecture, as I had talked about before. So now, we have possessive pronouns, that is, the pronouns that show possession, like mine. This book is mine. The phone is yours, right? So mine, yours, his, hers, ours, the house is ours. So these theirs, these are possessive pronouns. For example, the design is mine. So this shows possession. That is, I own the design. The design is mine, right? Then we have reflexive pronouns. That is, um, myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, oneself, ourselves, yourself, themselves. These are reflexive pronouns. For example, if I say, he did it himself. So it is something he did on his own. It's reflexive. Okay. Then we have reciprocal pronouns, that is like each other, one another. They really know one another. So that is reciprocal pronouns. Then we have relative pronouns, that, which, who, whose, whom, where, and when. The movie that you suggested was really boring. So that shows relation of the movie. That is, the movie that you suggested was boring, right? Demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these, those. These are demonstrative pronouns. They point to the noun for which they're used. Okay, for example, that is the new bridge. So it's pointing to the bridge. That is the new bridge. Or that is Mr. Sharma's house. So it's pointing to Mr. Sharma's house. We can have other demonstrative pronouns like you have a car, but I have none, right? So it shows possession again. Like, I mean, it shows demonstration again. I have none. You have a car, I have none. So none is a demonstrative pronoun here. Okay. Now we go to interrogative pronouns. Obviously, all the question words, who, what, why, where, when, whatever, where are you going, how are you, all these are interrogative pronouns. Then we have indefinite pronouns. That is, sometimes demonstrative pronouns can be used indefinitely too. That is when they do not refer to any person or thing in particular, but to persons or things in general. For example, if I say there's somebody at the door, we don't know who's at the door, but there's somebody at the door. Or when we say um, some people are born great. So we're not talking about any particular person, but we're talking about a general group, like some people are born great. Or when we say one must always speak the truth, so that is a general statement. Here, this one is not some particular someone, it's in general, right? Many of the pronouns listed here belong to another word class as well, that is the determiners. And these are pronouns, they are pronouns when they occur independently, but um, without a noun following them, as in, this is a new book, right? But when a noun follows them, for example, here, this is a new book, there's no noun after this. But when we say the book is new, this book is new, this is a determiner here. Okay. All right. So now we have some questions. Uh, Luca and Dash went to the concert. Luca and I went to the concert, right? We won't be using me here. Um, Between you and Dash, I don't trust him at all. So you have the options of I and me. It's obviously me. Between you and me, I don't trust him at all. This task is for you and Dash, I, me, myself. It's obviously me because you use the second form. Me is also the second form. Um, so we're talking about this task is for you and me. I am taller than him. You and he have both lost your position. Okay. Now we have certain rules that we must remember in questions like these. So if a pronoun stands for two singular nouns, for example, um, we have this sentence, each boy and girl went to her home, right? So now when a pronoun stands for two singular noun, boy and girl, these are two singular nouns, and they are joined by and. The two singular nouns must be joined by and preceded by each or every. Then this pronoun has to be singular in number and it should agree in gender with the noun next to it. Right? So each boy and girl went to her home. So her agrees with the girl, the gender of the girl, right? Each mother and every son. Oh, every mother and every son will do his duty. So here it agrees with the gender of the son. Every mother and every son will do his duty. Okay. Also, when the pronouns of second and third persons are referred to by one pronoun, it should be in the second position. Whereas it should be in the first position in the case pronouns are for second and first persons. For example, you and I, it's second person and first person, right? We'll do our best to save him. You and I will do our best to save him. Now we have second and third persons. You and she have both lost your chance. So here we are using the second person. You and I will do our best to save him. This is the first person, right? Two singular nouns joined by either or, neither nor. That is nor. There's a mistake there. Just note it. So two singular nouns joined by either or, neither nor take a singular pronoun. But the pronoun is plural if it refers to a singular noun joined to a plural noun. So when we say either Rita or Geeta has left her purse here, so it takes a singular noun, a singular pronoun her, because two singular nouns have been joined by either or. Now, if we have two plural nouns joining each other by either or, like either the managers or the workers failed in their duty. So we have a plural pronoun here, because a singular noun has been joined to a plural noun, either the manager or the workers failed in their duty, right? Okay, now we have reflexive pronouns, that is pronouns that are used to show that the subject of the sentence is receiving the action of the verb. Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, themselves, these are all reflexive pronouns because they show that the subject of the sentence is receiving the action of the verb. For example, the terrorist shot himself. So shot is the verb and the terrorist shot himself. That is, the terrorist is at the receiving end. That is, he shot himself. Why don't you go by yourself? So it's saying, why don't you go on your own? Why don't you go by yourself? You are the receiving action of the verb. So again, a reflexive pronoun. His mother often blamed herself for her son's mistakes. So the mother is at the receiving end. She blamed herself for her son's mistakes. So a reflexive pronoun acts as the object of a transitive verb. If you remove it, some meaning will definitely be lost. For example, the terrorist shot. Now, if you don't say himself, who did the terrorist really shoot? We do not have, some meaning. Actually, a lot of meaning is lost here, right? The terrorist shot himself. That is why here himself is the reflexive pronoun, because the terrorist is at the receiving end of the shooting of the verb shot, right? Okay, so now here we have cases: the personal nominative, objective, possessive, and reflexive. Um, we do know nominative is when the pronoun is the subject of the verb. Objective is when the pronoun is object of the verb. Possession is possessive is possession, and reflexive is when the pronoun is at the receiving end. I mean, it's at the receiving end. The subject of the sentence is at the receiving end of the verb, right? Okay. Now we have reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Okay. So when self is added to my, your, him, her, it, and selves, to our, your, them, we get compound personal pronouns. These self forms of pronouns can be used as either reflexive pronouns or emphatic pronouns. Reflexive forms of pronouns, of personal pronoun, person or thing does something to itself or himself. The action done by the subject reflects it, that is, it turns back on the subject. For example, he hurt himself. So the action is coming back on the subject. He hurt himself. I forgot myself. She killed herself. So the action done by the subject, that is, for example, if I say I okay, she killed herself. So she is the subject. The verb is killed, and the action turns back on her. That is, she killed herself. Right? The self forms here are used as objects of the verb, but they refer back to the subject. Emphatic forms of personal pronouns are used for the sake of emphasis. It's only emphasis. I'll do it myself. I'll do it is also a sentence, and it makes complete sense. Myself is just added to add emphasis, right? It makes sense, but it need not be added. So if we are adding a personal pronoun just for the sake of emphasis, it is emphatic pronoun. We saw the president himself. We saw the president makes total sense in itself, but we are adding we saw the president himself just to add the emphasis that we saw the president. Right? We ourselves went to the scene of the accident. We could have said we went to the scene of the accident, but we would say we ourselves went to the scene of the accident just to put emphasis on ourselves, right? So these are emphatic pronouns. Now we have a conversation, and I would like you to fill up reflexive or emphatic pronouns in this conversation. And okay, I'll wait for a minute, and we'll be discussing it once you fill it up, right? Okay. So, okay. Um, the conversation. Jay, I like your painting, Neha. Thanks. I made it myself. Jay, really? I didn't know you paint. Neha, I do. In fact, I painted this house myself. That is so cool, says Jay. Neha, it's easy. You should try it yourself. Neha, oh, Jay, I would if you teach me. If you could teach me, Neha. Oh, you don't need me. You can learn how to do it yourself by watching videos online. Jay, okay, I'll think about it. Thanks. So this is how we filled it. I hope you did it too and found all the answers to be the same. Now we have the demonstrative pronouns, right? A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a proper or common noun. Here's a list of common demonstrative pronouns. This is used to refer to a singular subject which is near the speaker, or here, for example, this is my book. Or we'd say, yeah, this is my candle holder, right? So anything that's here around me is referred to by this. That is, it refers to a single object which is near the speaker or here. That is used to refer to a singular object which is far from the speaker or there, right? As in, um, can you bring that charger? That is, I'm referring to a charger that is outside this room. Can you bring that charger? These. It is used to refer to more than one object which is near the speaker or here, right? For example, if I say uh, about the flowers, right? These flowers are so beautiful. So I'm referring to these flowers that are around me, right? These flowers are so beautiful. Or um, these cushions look beautiful, or these cushions look nice. So we are referring to something that is near the speaker, and it is in plural in um, not singular in number, right? Now, those is used to refer to more than one object that is far from the speaker or there. Here is used for the location that is near the speaker. There is used for the location that is far from the speaker, right? For example, can you put the phone here? So it's near the speaker, right? Um, keep the utensils there. That is far from the speaker, refers to something far from the speaker. Okay, now we have some questions that we are going to fill up now. We are going to play badminton this morning, right? Shall I wear this bracelet or that one? So it is something singular we are referring to, right? Can I have a look at? Now, scissors is scissors in singular only. So it's singular. The singular for scissors is scissors itself. So can I have a look at that scissors? Right? Let's go to this new restaurant in the town or that new restaurant in the town. Let's go to that new restaurant in the town because it's far off. The posters these posters you gave me look great on my wall, or those posters you gave me look great at my wall. Which of it will be uh, filled up? So she's talking about these posters because they're near her. These posters you gave me look great on my wall. We'll have to do some work now. This isn't a holiday, so it is going to be this because we're talking about this day. This isn't a holiday. Right? Oh, I put it again. The 5th and 7th are the same. These posters you gave me look great on my wall because we are talking about these speakers, these posters that are near me. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about indefinite pronouns. Some demonstrative pronouns are used indefinitely. That is, they do not refer to any person or thing in particular, but they refer to persons or things in a general way. That is, one must do one's best. Here, one is not someone particular. It is something, it is a general statement we are making. We are talking about persons in a general way, all word round. One who is everybody's friend is nobody's friend. This is important to note. So we're not talking about anyone particular. We're talking about the general one, the general person who's everybody's friend is actually nobody's friend. Some people are born great. Somebody has stolen my pen. Not everybody can do that. Nobody was willing to take the risk of jumping into ice cold water on a Christmas night, right? So we're not talking about anybody in particular. It's general persons or things we are referring to. Now we have interrogative pronouns, and interrogative pronoun is used to ask a question. Who, whom, whose ask questions about persons only. Whose laptop is this? Whose phone is this, right? Which is used to refer to both persons or things. Which is your painting? Which of you broke into my house last night? Right? Which means selection, that is asking questions about a particular person out of a limited number or definite group of numbers. What is used only for things? What did you say? Right? Interrogative pronouns, which and what may be used as interrogative adjectives when they are followed by nouns which they qualify. So, which is an interrogative pronoun, which may be used as interrogative adjective when it is followed by nouns. Which colors? Colors is a noun. Which colors have you chosen? Which fort will you like to see? What reasons can you give for this lapse? Right? Now, use the correct form of interrogative pronouns in the following. So, what do we have? Dash do you mean? What do you mean? Right? Did you dash did you not give her a chance? Why did you not give her a chance? Why? Dash told you about this project. Who told you about this project? Right? Fourth one. Which is better? The green cushion or the white cushion? So which? It's comparison. Which is better? The green cushion or the white cushion? How can I help you today? It's how. Why don't you understand the gravity of the situation? It's why. So it's not just the interrogative pronouns that are mentioned in the first line. We are using interrogative pronouns that are other than these. We are using how. We are using, why these are certain pronouns I've not mentioned in the first statement, just so that you know that we have the pronouns that can be used apart from the hints that have been given to you in the first line, right? Now we have distributive pronouns. Either, each, and neither are called distributive pronouns because they refer to persons or things one at a time. Note that a distributive pronoun is always singular, and as such, it should be followed by a singular noun and verb. Each student was given a badge. Either road leads to the highway. Neither answer is correct, right? Now we have reciprocal pronouns. Each other and one another are called reciprocal pronouns because they express mutual or reciprocal relationship. Beauty and the Beast hated each other. That is, it's a reciprocal relationship. Both of them hate each other. Beauty and the Beast hated each other. We must all help one another. Again, reciprocal mutual relationship. We must all help one another. They should talk to each other. Again, mutual. Now, we have relative pronouns that take the place of nouns to which they refer or are related, and also act as joining words, as I met Alexander who told me the address. So now I met Alexander who. Who is the relative pronoun? Who told me the address. So who or that are the relative pronouns used for people, which and that are the relative pronouns used for things, and whose is a possessive relative pronoun that is always followed by a noun, right? Um, so who nominative pronoun, whom objective pronoun, and whose possessive pronoun are used when speaking of persons. Okay. And what is used only when speaking of things without life, both in the nominative and objective case. That is used for persons, animals, and things, but only in defining or restrictive clause. That only helps to define or limit the noun it refers to. That is used in place of who, whom, or which, as this is the woman that won the first prize. Right? Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. So what is important to note here is that that is used for persons only in restrictive clauses. Okay. A restrictive clause modifies the noun that precedes it in an essential way. right? They limit or identify such nouns and cannot be removed from a sentence without changing the sentence's meaning. For example, when I say, this is the woman that won the first prize. Now, if I remove that won the first prize, which woman is this? We cannot define it. It's restrictive, right? That here is restrictive. Uh, is put in the restrictive clause. That one, the first. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Uneasy lies a head that wears the crown. That is, it is a restrictive clause that wears the crown because the meaning is not the same if we don't put that. Now, a non-restrictive clause, on the other hand, describes a noun in a non-essential way. Okay. These days, that is also used to refer to the superlative degree of adjectives. For example, when I say Ashoka was the greatest king that ever ruled India. So now we are referring to the superlative degree of the adjective greatest. Okay, he's the noblest man that I have ever seen. It's referring to noblest, the superlative degree of adjective again. Now, okay, we have certain examples. This is what troubles me. What is done cannot be undone. I found what I was looking for. This is what I want. Right? Again, what we must note is what is used when speaking of things without life, both in the nominative and objective case, right? So now we are using what here, saying this is what troubles me. It's some lifeless thing, some situation or something. I found what I was looking for. Again, a lifeless thing. What is done cannot be undone. Again, something that you've done. This is what I want. This is what I want. Again, a lifeless thing. So we must remember that what is used only when speaking of things without life, both in the nominative and in the objective case. Okay. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Now, that wears the crown is the restrictive clause. The uneasy lies the head that wears the crown wouldn't be the same if you remove that wears the crown from there, right? That is also used after words all, same, none, only, nothing, etc. As all is well that ends well. All that glitters is not gold. She is the same girl that came here yesterday. Okay. Now, that differs from who or which, as these can be used for non-defining clauses also, which give additional information about the antecedent. Another difference between who which is that while who and which can be used in possessive form, whose, of which, or with prepositions of whom, to whom, by which, that cannot be used as such. This is my sister of whom I'm very proud. I can't say this is my sister that I'm very proud. No, this is my sister of whom I'm very proud. This is the woman whose house was burnt yesterday. This is the library of which I told you yesterday. We can't say this is the library that I told you yesterday. No, this is the library of which I told you yesterday. Right? Now, we are talking about the omission of relative pronouns. When the relative pronoun is the subject of the clause in which it occurs, it cannot be omitted. But when it is the object, either of the verb in the clause or the preposition, it is often omitted. For example, when I say, the bed I sleep on has a very soft mattress. Now, this bed I sleep on is the object of the verb I sleep, is the object of the verb sleep. So the bed that I sleep on has a very soft mattress is not needed. We can just say the bed I sleep on has a very soft mattress. Say a similar situation is with be loyal to the friends that you have, right? So now you do not need to use the word that here, be loyal to the friends you have. Right? This is the picture that I told you about. Again, the picture is the object. You do not need to put that. It is given. It is omitted. The relative pronoun is omitted here. This is the picture I told you about. Right? Now, we have to put suitable words in the spaces or leave the space if possible. Right? If needed, wherever needed. Right? Okay. The laptop, which I had left in the library, had disappeared. The bag in dash she put her medicines was found later, which again, now we are using relative pronouns, we need to fill it. I like that coffee I really like that coffee you made me this morning. I don't think anything needs to be filled here because it already makes complete sense. And yeah, we are just talking about the coffee that you made this morning. I really like that coffee. There's already a relative pronoun present there. Um, and it is the object that doesn't need a relative pronoun. What was the name of your friend whose book we borrowed, right? Okay. The shoes dash I bought were the ones on dash I first tried. The shoes I bought were the ones on which I first tried. No, the shoes I bought were the ones I first tried. The shoes are the object. We do not need to succeed it with any relative pronoun. The shoes which I bought were the shoes I bought, not which I bought, because the shoes I bought makes complete sense. The shoes is the object, right? The shoes I bought were the shoes which I first tried. On is wrong here, and I did that so that you remember that there is an error in this sentence. The shoes I bought here were the ones I tried first. Okay. The shoes I bought were the ones which I first tried. That is the right sentence, the complete right sentence. The shoes I bought were the ones which I first tried. Okay. Now, this is the book I was talking about. This is the book I was talking about. The book is the object. We do not need to succeed it with any pronoun at all. I have a friend who has a talent of playing the guitar. Now we're talking about the friend, so it would be who. The car, which is parked outside, is mine. Okay. The car is mine makes complete sense, which is parked outside is only an addition, a non-restrictive clause. So we add which. Now, in today's section of the vocabulary, that was it for the pronouns. In today's section of the vocabulary, we would again be getting to know three new words. That is aberration, forlorn, and thwart. Right? So aberration. Aberration is a noun. It is a derivation. It is a deviation from what is normal, usual, or right. Okay. A temporary lapse of behavior or a mental function. So we could say, for example, a sentence could be, in a moment of aberration today morning, I agreed to work for my bossy client or a bossy client. In a mental aberration today morning, I agreed to work for a bossy client. So it's a temporary lapse of behavior or mental function which we are referring to that happened to me today morning. Okay. The scientist was puzzled by the aberration in experiment result. That the scientist was puzzled by what was unusual in the result, as it deviated significantly from the expected outcomes. Of course, a deviation from what is normal is being referred to here. Her decision to quit her stable job and pursue a career in art seemed like an aberration to her friends and family. Of course, something that is not normal, not usual, not right is what we are referring to here again. Now we have the word forlorn. Forlorn is basically unlone and unhappy, you know. It's an adjective. For example, we look at life in the metros, which is full of sad figures who are in a hurry to reach somewhere. They don't connect with anybody. They are just on their own, right? So we have an example. If the metro is full of forlorn figures in a hurry to reach somewhere. If you enter this forlorn fort, you will hear the walls chanting, right? Okay. A forlorn hope or attempt is that which has no chances of success. Um, Protesters went on a hunger strike in the forlorn hope of getting their demands fulfilled. Right? Protesters went on a hunger strike in the forlorn hope of getting their demands fulfilled. That is in a hope that has no chances of success at all. Now we have our last word for the day, that is thwart, that is to stop something from happening or someone from doing something. The center has suggested strict imposition of Section 144 of CRPC um, to thwart any kind of violence and untoward incident. That is to stop something from happening. The center has suggested strict imposition of this section to stop any kind of violence or untoward incident. It was the same day four more attempted bomb attacks were thwarted in the capital. That is, it was the same day four more attempted bomb attacks were stopped in the capital. That is to stop something from happening, to stop someone from doing something. That is thwart. So we must remember the words. These are really important. It is important to increase your vocabulary, read the newspaper daily, as I've told you before. And I would really request you to ask me questions in comments, and I would appreciate that. Okay. Thank you so much for today. We would be discussing adjectives in our next class, right? Goodbye.